live. Yeah, yeah, we going live. Hey, hey, we going live. Yeah, yeah, we going live. Yeah, yeah, we going. Yeah, yeah, we going. Yeah, 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 we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line. Hey.
Hello, beautiful people.
Hello, hello, hello.
I am Jarrett, the football genius Burgess.
I'm Stephanie Fitzpatrick, aka the Advantage Coach.
And this is episode 49 of the Field to the Real podcast.
Ooh,
I know the numbers now. We almost at 50.
We're almost there.
We are almost at 50 episodes.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And for those of you who didn't tune in last week, our entire episode was a tribute to Kobe Bryant, as well as his daughter Gianna and the other 7 passengers who were on the helicopter. Again, we want to send our condolences to those families and all the lives that were lost on that helicopter. This week we are back to our original format, our regularly scheduled programming.
Regularly scheduled programming, that's right.
First, let me give Stephanie her flowers.
Oh.
Because if you all remember, somewhere about week 8 or 9 of the NFL season, we did a Who's Really Right. And we said who was going to win the MVP. And I was very adamant about Russell Wilson winning the MVP.
Yeah.
Stephanie said, what's his name? Huh?
Lamar Jackson.
Stephanie said Lamar Jackson was going to win.
Yes.
And not only did he win, he was one of only 2 unanimous MVP winners.
Yeah, Tom Brady. How about you in the conversation with Tom Brady? In the same
conversation with Tom Brady.
That's pretty deep right there.
Yeah. You know what I was I'm sorry, I know this is a bit off of topic, but what I was really proud of was Pat Mahomes' post-game speech when they were talking about he was going to be the face of the league for the next however many years. And he was like, well, Lamar Jackson just had a all-time great season. And he talked about Deshaun Watson. And I think he mentioned another quarterback as the future faces of this league. And I just thought that was dope that he would spread that around like that. He could have just took that adulation and, like, I am going to be the face of this league.
He probably mentioned Kyler Murray.
Yeah. Yes, Kyler Murray. Yeah, that's what it was. It was Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
So I was real proud that he did that. After that whole
that's good stuff.
After the whole Zimmerman thing, I was kind of off him, but but let's get to it.
We all grow up. It's okay.
Yeah. I'm sure if you look at some of my tweets yesterday, you might look at me sideways.
Oh my goodness! Oh Lord.
But no, let's get to it.
Okay.
Who's really right?
Yep. Oh now, wait. I'm sorry. You giving me my flowers, but you got to give me my props on the week before too.
Well, what was
not
that?
Last week, but the week before.
What'd you say?
Who won the Super Bowl?
Oh, that don't count.
Oh, it counts.
It does count. So yes, Stephanie was. Y'all know Stephanie always be really right because y'all text me and tell me. No, Stephanie did say that the Chiefs were going to win the Super Bowl.
But I want to say congratulations to the whole team. Absolutely, I'm a huge Travis Kelce fan.
Me too.
So I'm a huge Travis Kelce fan, and so that was
even though I said that the Niners were going to win, and I'm not excusing that pick because that was my take. I just feel like defense wins championships, but I was very happy to see Andy Reid get a Super Bowl win. Mm-hmm. Very happy. In an era where, and maybe it's always been like this, but since I've been living or can remember sports, championships were always the measure of your greatness. And I think that's a bit unfair given that when we talk about team sports.
Yeah.
Now, if you're Roger Federer or someone like Serena who plays individual sports, it is all about you. But in team sports, it's not always. There's a lot of factors. There's a lot of things that go into winning the championship, and so I always felt like it was unfair that Andy Reid got that label that he chokes in the big game. Which is totally unfair.
We all up in our whole thing today. That's funny though.
Are we?
Speaking of choking.
Oh no. You're wrong for that. No, but so back to the point. Who's really right. The Chiefs won the Super Bowl. The 49ers lost. And it is Wednesday, and in about after you and I finish the podcast, and then we're going to meet right after this. I am going to call my boy Bear to tease him about the 49ers losing Super Bowl.
Don't do that.
I'm going to let him have it. Because when the 49ers are on top, he is king of trash talk. But when they lose, they say nothing to him. So I gave him a couple of days to lick his wounds.
Lick his wounds.
Now I'm going in. So, Bear, if you see this,
sorry, Bear,
you will have already caught these jokes by the time you see this.
I'm sorry, Bear. Look, all I can say is I'm sorry, Bear.
Sorry, not sorry.
Right. For the outcome, I'm not sorry. No. Oh, okay, but I just had to say that. Now, who's really right?
No, that's okay. I knew it was another one I was leaving off, and I was like, well, since I gave her the other who's really right there, so she don't need this one.
She did.
All right.
All good, all good.
So this one's gonna be tough to prove, but we both have a differing of opinion when it comes to these all-star starters. Now, so our who's really right is, does Trae Young deserve to be an all-star starter? And so I think you guys know, if you know Stephanie, you know what side of this she's on.
Yeah. Go first this week. You good. Go ahead.
I'm going to go first?
Go first this week. You
okay.
Good.
I'll go first this week. I don't believe that Trae Young should be a starter on the East. And it's not because he doesn't necessarily deserve it. It is mainly because I feel like out of all of the starters, Jimmy Butler is the most deserving of being a starter. One, he has that team that we didn't think would do anything this year at number 2 in the East.
Okay.
And when you look at Trae Young, while Atlanta's probably a little better than we thought they would be, at the moment they still on a playoff team.
Okay.
And I feel like, especially when it comes to starters,
I said it's interesting. Okay, go ahead.
I feel like so we can look at their stats, and we know that Trae Young averages more. He averages more than Jimmy Butler. His 3-point percentage is higher. They both play the same amount of minutes. Jimmy Butler's field goal percentage is higher.
Mm-hmm.
He has more steals.
Okay.
But I think both of them have an indelible impact on their team. Yeah. But I think that because Jimmy Butler has this team that no one expected to do anything at the number 2 seed in the East, I think that's the reason why I say I would have put Jimmy Butler as the starter over Trae Young. Now, well, I won't get that deep. This part isn't even about that. I was going to try to sneak the Wizards in here somewhere because I'm a Wizards fan, but I'll leave that part alone. But yeah, that's my argument, and that's why I feel I'm really right on this.
Okay. So I find it interesting that you said that the Hawks aren't even in the playoff hunts rather, and that's a reason why he should not be a starter. But when you look at the totality, I know what you're saying about Jimmy Butler to be true, but I look at it from two perspectives. One, the Hawks wouldn't even be where they are, period, without him, because he carries this team. So that, to me, even though they're not in the top 8, does not negate the fact that you just said it, important to his team. Just as important to his team. But here's my other thing.
Wait, let me correct myself right quick. I'm sorry. So the Heat aren't number 2 in the East anymore. They slipped to number 4.
4. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's still, I mean, it is what it is. But my other reason, I think, strictly has nothing to do with numbers. It's all about fanfare and people who watch the All-Star game are not looking at it from the perspective of technicality and all of that kind of stuff when it comes to basketball. They're looking for that excitement, that fanfare. And if we're going to put them up against each other, you're going to get more fanfare from Trae Young.
I agree. Everywhere except Miami.
But whatever. But yeah, I feel like he's a more exciting player to watch. And let's be clear, I know you've always been a proponent for Jimmy Butler. But Jimmy Butler has not been the most sportsman-like dude. I'm gonna just say it like that. Always. So
yeah,
stuff like that. When it comes to the All-Star game, because the game isn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If this was, I mean, it's the same thing like the Pro Bowl. Like, nobody's really out there playing football like they do on Sunday, so it doesn't matter.
That's true. That's true.
You know what I mean?
And that's one thing so I don't know when it changed, but I know that All-Star starters used to be, I believe, 100% fan vote. And then the NBA realized that
the same people were going to be in there.
Right. And so it didn't matter what they were doing on the court. They could still be voted in. It was a popularity contest. And so they broke it down. I don't know the percentages, but I feel like the fan part is maybe 50% of the score that they get to be voted in. But they also get votes from their not teammates, but they get votes from guys around the league, their peers. And I believe that because Jimmy Butler, the what you talked about with Jimmy Butler, I believe that's maybe one of the reasons why he wasn't an All-Star starter.
Absolutely.
But I think that a lot of the criticism about Jimmy Butler is unfair. And I think it's unfair because of the era that he plays in. Right? I mean, because So the biggest knock that's been on Jimmy Butler is more that he's an in-your-face type of guy, and he demands a lot of his teammates. And he'll talk trash to you. He'll get in your face. And I don't think that was a thing when Jordan was playing, or even when Kobe was playing. I don't think Kobe, you know what? And after I looked at,
You don't think what was being in your face?
I don't think that was looked at as not having good sportsmanship. Like,
you mean it happened, but it wasn't looked down upon then?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
okay.
yeah. So it happened. So when we think about
I was
Jordan,
about to be like, what?
like we hear the stories about Jordan punching Steve Kerr in the face.
Yeah. Right.
So we hear that, but we don't look at Jordan and say, "Oh, he wasn't." We don't look at him and say that. And even with Kobe, and I would say Kobe did face some criticism. He did. But
a little bit.
When you see the clip of Kobe in practice, and he was yelling at Smush Parker and all of those other Lakers back then who weren't all that great.
Right.
Kwame Brown.
Oh boy.
Even then, I don't think that we said we attributed that to that Mamba mentality. And I feel like Jimmy Butler has that too, but because we are in this new age of athlete where everybody's super sensitive and everybody's friends, and we don't expect to be confrontational as far as being teammates and trying to get the best out of your team.
Right.
With Jimmy Butler is looked upon as a bad thing now. And maybe there are other players that get the best out of their team a different way.
Without being rude.
And I will say, not even without being rude, because I'll say we know about LeBron's method.
Yeah.
Like kind of the passive aggressive,
right?
Challenging. That's my goat. That passive aggressive challenging method that when Kevin Love first got to Cleveland, and I think it was a tweet or a Instagram post, and he was like, he had said something about don't try to fit in. Kevin Love at some point started to fit in,
right?
Even though because he started to fully embrace that role, and so other people are finding ways to do it.
Yep.
But Jimmy Butler's a throwback. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I appreciate it. Like, even with me not liking Kobe as a player, when I saw the video of him tearing into Smush Parker and Kwame Brown and all those other terrible Lakers that were on his team, that made me I appreciated that.
Yeah.
I really appreciated that. So.
Well, I get it. I get it. I do.
Yeah.
I get it. It still ain't gonna fly, but I get it. I get it.
Oh man.
I mean, it's just. I mean, I guess my thing is I guess people were able to say for sure with Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, since you brought them up as two examples. This is strictly about a passion and such a strong desire to win.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it comes off that way from him.
I think so.
Mm-mm.
Like
I think it's more of I'm just a mean old grouch, and you just gotta do. You know what I mean? Like I do. I don't feel like his teammates or people in general view him as this person who's passionate about winning basketball games. They don't see him that way. They just see him as, you know what I mean? And it could be what you said because of the era we're in and everything. But I just see him, I don't know. I don't see people equating the desire to win as the reason for your attitude. If that makes sense.
I would say I think that may have more to do with them. Like, because we already know that one of the leaks about him, Joel Embiid loved him as a teammate. Ben Simmons loved him as a teammate. What's the other guy that was on that team that looks like J. Cole? I can't think of his name right now.
Like, who are you talking about?
They loved him when he got to Philly. A lot of what we heard about him pushing his teammates was when he was in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
And then a little bit of what we got when he was in Chicago.
Different types of cities, too.
Right.
Different types of teams. And
Different
the people
types
you
of
were in
teams.
Minnesota, especially in Minnesota, you were not with those dudes who were used to having somebody be
being
so crafty,
berated
so in your face, and they weren't used to that. So,
right.
Yeah.
But even with that, like all of his criticisms of them, and with some of the media members who actually saw him in practice and him getting on Andrew Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns, it was all about basketball and it was all about being tougher, and it was because they weren't winning a bunch of basketball games.
Yeah.
And even if when one of my favorite NBA coaches, and I wish he would go on back and coach, Tom Thibodeau.
Mm-hmm. Oh God, I love that man.
Me too. I was hoping he would be the Lakers coach.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. That would have been a good.
I don't know. Would that have worked? Okay.
That would have worked. I think so.
Okay.
I think he is one of those coaches that would have really garnered the respect of LeBron and AD. And I think that all of those players would have bought in. Now, obviously, they're in first place right now.
I was going to say they bought into something.
Yeah, so they
but we already know. We had this conversation before about what's really going on. So.
What?
Who's on the staff?
Oh, yeah, Jason Kidd. Yeah.
We know what's really.
He is the heir apparent.
Yes. Yeah. We know what's really going on. Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, that was it. That was only my spiel, And I'm a Jimmy Butler fan.
You are.
I'm a Jimmy Butler fan. And I just think just the way that he's been playing this season and how he's gotten that team who no one expected to be where they are, even at the 4th seed at the moment.
That's still impressive.
Yeah, because they had traded away Hassan Whiteside.
Right.
No one expected Adebayo to be as good. Well, I'm sure some people did, but he kind of came out of nowhere. Yeah. He came out of nowhere. So
yeah.
No,
well, y'all know how this goes, y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all have to let us know, and
we will
really
post
it. Who's really right? It'll be posted on Friday. Well, I'm gonna try to post it on Friday.
Okay.
It's the birthday, y'all. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But I will try to post it on Friday so you can vote who's really right.
Yeah.
On this one.
Put the cameras on me. 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 Put the cameras on me.